Okay, so you've just seen the video from Harry about how to price your services for lead gen. Now, for Ecom, it's not too dissimilar to exactly what Harry has just explained. However, Ecom is a slightly different kettle of fish, as we say. There's a lot more variable factors to success with Ecom, okay? And really, in essence, there's more, not more that can go wrong, but more things that you will have to explain. And there's probably, in my personal view, there's more work that kind of has to be done. With Ecom, we will talk about it, but you do have to create more ad copy, more ad sets. There's a lot more testing involved, which we'll talk about. Don't worry about that for now. But there's a lot more things that you have to kind of keep an eye on with an Ecom. Also, if you're working with an Ecom brand, let's say, in the example earlier, I gave a clothing brand, and that's one that I'm working with. Let's say you're working with a clothing brand, and the average hoodie is a $40, maybe $60 hoodie, okay? Or they do trainers for $80 trainers. Now, you have to weigh up, when you're speaking and negotiating on pricing with an Ecom client, you have to kind of weigh up how, if you're going to get results, which you will do if you follow up our strategies, you will get results for them, but you also have to weigh up how much they're willing to put into ads. That's really, really important. Before you even talk about how much you are going to be, you need to kind of weigh up, again, like in lead gen, how much have they got to spend on ads? What their basket value is worth. So if a client or a customer comes onto this clothing website, what does the average basket value look like? So are people going on the website and buying one item and then leaving? Or are they buying multiple items? Are they buying a t-shirt, a hoodie, a pair of trainers? You know, these things you kind of have to look at, but that's called the basket value. That's almost like lifetime value, like Harry mentioned with restaurants and other industries. But this is a basket value. You then kind of have to understand that your client will probably be heavier on results driven. All clients want results. There's no two ways, you can't get away from that, and that's why we're here, to bring business in. However, within Ecom, there seems to be a bit of a shift where the client will probably want to get you on some kind of performance-based pricing. Now, that's nothing to be scared of, okay? But what you have to remember then is you would like to have a fixed fee. Okay, so whether you lower your fee to say $500, $1,000, $1,500, and then you negotiate a performance-based fee on top of that, then that's perfectly acceptable. And be prepared for that as well, because that will probably come up. With me, and some of the agencies, some of the clients I've worked with in my agency, my fee really does depend on how much work I'm going to do, what the value of the product is we're selling. Are they at a very early stage? If you're working with a startup company, they're probably not going to have the budget, and the work involved will be huge. So again, like lead gen, you have to weigh up all the factors before you make a decision. Again, in my view, I don't think you should work with Ecom anything less than around the $500-700 a month mark. That is minimum. And I'm only saying that because people in the industry are charging more. Okay. But again, at the very beginning, if you're watching this and you haven't signed a client yet, or you've only got one client ever, you may not want to charge more because you actually want the experience of working with an Ecom. There's no harm in lowering your fee, okay, just for the experience and the knowledge of what you're going to learn from running an Ecom campaign. Okay, so again, we can't sit here, me and Harry, and say, right, this is the pricing. This is what you must charge at because everyone else charges it. It doesn't work like that. Case by case, it's down to you. You're an individual who can make the call, but just think about how demanding would the client be as well. And this is something which me and Harry will touch on in another video. But can you see yourself working with that client? Are they nice people? Are they quite patient people? Okay, these things would affect the way I price 100%. So, in a nutshell, it's very similar to lead gen, but just figure out or be prepared for them to probably want to put you on some kind of performance-based pricing, but don't make it solely your pricing. So if they say, look, we'll pay you on a performance-based, I would refuse that. That's a red flag for me because I don't need to do that. And the reason I don't need to do that is because, and you shouldn't do it, is because there's loads of other clients out there who wouldn't have those terms on you. So don't, in my personal view, you might hear otherwise, but I wouldn't accept that if it's just performance-based pay. Okay, and this goes to the same for lead gen. When people ask you for pay per lead, no, we don't do that, because the amount that doesn't warrant the amount of work you've put in. Okay, so in essence, it's case by case. Look at the product, look at the client, look at the brand. Can you work with it? Can you get results with it? Is it something you're actually interested in? And make a call. It could be that you go with a higher setup fee at the beginning. That's acceptable, with a lower monthly retainer. If they sign up if they sign up with you for 6 months, maybe you do want to lower your fee, because they're actually giving you commitment for 6 months. If it's just 3 months, again, you might have a slightly lower fee, because they're going to give you a guaranteed 3-month retainer. So your call, guys. Again, come to us if you have any questions. We really don't mind answering your DMs and any lives and on Instagram that we hold, or Q&As. Just chuck it in there, and we'll go from there. But Harry, have you got anything that you can think of?
Yeah, one thing I didn't mention in the lead generation pricing was these fees that you're getting. Obviously, your service fee and your ad spend are 2 different fees, but this isn't 100% profit. Like, you have services, you've got to pay for your ClickFunnels account, you've got to pay for MailChimp, Zapier, all of these services that reduce your profit. So, and it's not 100% profit, which these business owners probably will assume that you're making. They'll be like, oh, well, this is all profit anyway, like, just knock some stuff off. But it's not, especially for lead gen, where you're building multiple funnels. And if you get to a stage where you're using over 20 funnels on your ClickFunnels account, and you have to go up to the $300 a month package, that's a big fee. And if you're working for essentially nothing, you work on that performance based I don't know, was it structure? Then you could even lose money if you don't make them any money in the first month, which is very likely. Especially for an ecom client, we make it so apparently clear, which we'll talk about in the presentation funnel, about under promising and over delivering. It's very likely you're not going to make much money in the first month because of all this testing. So you don't want to actually be losing money by working with a client in the high. So we're not gambling here. You're running a business, so it's something you need to look out for. Yeah,
and don't be influenced by what other people charge as well. So you'll probably be in lots of social media marketing groups, and you'll be on many different platforms to learn. I hope you are anyway. But you'll hear, oh, I've just charged $2,500 for an ecom client. I've just charged $4,000 for an ecom client. Honestly, sometimes that's not true. These people have just said it because they want to make themselves look amazing to other people. And who knows what they're offering, honestly. So don't always go with the industry and go with what you hear. Go with what your gut feeling tells you. And you've got to look at it and go, okay, how much work is that for me? Is it something I want to get involved in? Can I work with that person? Yeah, okay, I think my time on this project is worth $1,200 a month, plus ad spend on top. So you're cool, but we will help you with it, okay? So that is ecom pricing, lead gen pricing. It's very open. I think you've gathered that. It's not and certainly don't, if you leave this training and you're sticking to a set pricing for every service you offer, someone will come give less service and charge more. If something will happen, you just will not be able to stick to that structure. So be very, very flexible and use your common sense always. Okay. Anyway, that's enough of that, and we'll see you in the next video.